yeah, maybe he will take the drugs away, and maybe that'll make us even healthier. As the retard across the seat from him, or across the table, is literally huffing on a cigar at the same time. Kill me. Wait. The companies are corrupt? I thought that the free market and competition and the marketplace of ideas, isn't this capitalism for these big pharmaceutical companies? What? Or is it not capitalism for them? Or
what are you talking about?
I just lived through COVID.
Joe Rogan absolutely destroyed the woke streamer Destiny, and Destiny had one of the biggest meltdowns I have ever seen. And that's saying a lot, because Destiny has a lot of these meltdowns, but this is one of the worst ones. I mean, it was absolutely unhinged. It was the craziest thing that I have seen yet from Destiny, and it's all because Joe Rogan absolutely destroyed him and his entire woke worldview. Let's get into this clip here where Joe Rogan destroys this woke streamer Destiny, and Destiny absolutely loses his mind because of it.
Governance, especially enormous amounts of money, and then they have influence, and then you have senators and congressmen and different elected representatives that don't do the will of the people. They do the will of the people that paid them enormous.
Oh, thank God. All right, now we're getting to the ideas part. Here we go. Let's go. I can't wait to hear this one.
Amounts of money, and this is a real problem, because if it was just the only way you could win was you had to do for the will of the people. You had to literally do things that were better for the people. The people realize you're doing a great job, and they keep electing you.
Well, let's be honest about what the conservatives had right from the get-go. There are problems that only competition solves. There are other problems that competition in something like a market is not well positioned to solve, but there's certain problems that there's no second best. It's only competition that works. And so when we talk about, well, what are we going to do for fact checking? We're going to abandon the idea of fact checking. What you want is a vibrant, independent journalist sector in which people who spot the story early and people who articulate the story in the most intuitive and accurate way.
This has nothing to do with this. I also don't like people that talk about free markets or capitalism. I don't know anything about economics. Well, community notes is competition, but fact-checking isn't competition because why? How do you even, are there not multiple fact-checkers that compete with each other? Is it as soon as you have an employee, is that no longer competition or free market? What a stupid fucking point. That's such a brainless thing to say.
No, it's not brainless at all, because fact checkers are normally people who are co-signed by government, whether it's a three-letter agency or maybe it's, it could be the CIA, FBI, it could be CDC. They're normally co-signed by one of those organizations, and it's not about competition between who is the better fact checker at that point. It's a competition between who is co-signed by the government or not. If you're co-signed by the government and you're a quote-unquote fact checker, then all of a sudden you just have jurisdiction over this, right? Everybody just automatically trusts you. Not anymore, but that's how it used to work. Whereas with community notes, is a bunch of different people from a bunch of different ideologies who all come together to community note and fact check and things like that on X. So it's completely different, and it's not nonsense at all to say. But I understand that Destiny is not really interested in truth. He's just more interested in being outraged at anyone who semi-supports Donald Trump or semi-aligns with the side that he's opposed to, which is Joe Rogan and Brett Weinstein for sure, at least what's coming out of their mouths right now. But I don't think that's ridiculous at all, because like I said, the fact checkers are always co-signed by somebody who, probably pays them to skew the facts in a certain way. I don't know why Destiny's acting as if he doesn't know that. I know he knows that. He's too smart to not know that, but that's just what Destiny does, man.
Outcompete those who do a worse job, so that over time what we get is journalism that you can't fool.
Right.
And that it reveals to us which government programs actually work, even if they don't sound reasonable at first glance. Here's what's...
I wonder if this fucking retard, through any of his fucking podcasts or any of the stupid shit he said, has ever quoted that, what's that? Truth is not decided by consensus or whatever. That just because a bunch of people say something is true doesn't make it true. I wonder if this guy's ever... he feels like a Redditor that would say that at some point. But I guess when it comes to community notes, whew...
really going on behind the scenes in this program, right? And then journalism that exposes any kind of fraud. And I don't know about you, but as I was watching confirmation hearings, my sense was that the Elizabeth Warrens and the Bernie Sanders were... If
you enjoy content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Dinosaurs who do not understand that the Earth has just been hit from outer space and that they don't live in the world that they are so used to. That their corruption was immediately apparent, and they're not used to that. They're used to having a whole phony journalistic layer that covers for them.
Right.
And that layer is gone, and the American public is awake, and it's angry, and rightfully so. And now it looks at Bernie Sanders, who, I remember the first time you and I spoke, you and I had both been Sanders supporters.
Yeah.
And now to see that same guy going after Bobby Kennedy, and, the feeble excuse, well, what if Bobby Kennedy becomes the head of HHS?
That is such a great way to put it. I've never heard anybody describe it that way, other than what Joe Rogan and Brett Weinstein are saying right here. I never heard anybody describe it that way, where Nancy Pelosi and these sorts of people are dinosaurs that don't realize that the asteroid just hit Earth. You know, that's really what it is. That's such a great way to describe it, because it's not just them either. It's not just the people who are in government. It's also a lot of the media personalities out there are acting the same way as before, if not even more unhinged. I mean, Destiny is a great example of this, actually. Like, Joe Rogan and Brett Weinstein could very well be talking about Destiny right now and what they're saying, because he is acting as if I mean, he's honestly getting even more unhinged than he was before, but he's acting as if the asteroid hasn't hit the Earth yet. The asteroid being Donald Trump winning the presidency and winning by a good margin. You know, the argument that Destiny and David Pakman and all these people would use is that, oh, he didn't even get the majority of votes. Okay, neither did Kamala Harris, but he got more than Kamala Harris. He got more votes than anyone else did, electoral college wise and popular vote wise. So it's such a nonsense argument, but they are like dinosaurs that haven't realized the asteroid hit yet, because they're acting the same as they were before. Or if you're in Destiny's case and these people who are audience captured cases, you're acting even more unhinged than before, because that's one of the two choices that you have. You're either like Destiny and you just become way more unhinged to play into the audience members who don't care about truth and they only want to exist in an echo chamber, or you take the Anna Kasparian Cenk Uygur route, where you start to just wake your audience up to the lies that have been told by the Democrat Party. Destiny chose the one where he gets even more unhinged, but either way, he's acting like he is a dinosaur that hasn't realized that the asteroid hit the Earth yet. That's such a great way to put it.
And people don't have access to prescription drugs. And it's like, dude, I just lived through COVID. It's not obvious to me that they wouldn't get healthier if they didn't have access to prescription drugs. Do you realize how corrupt?
I thought he did the thing. I was about to do the where the puck is instead of where it's going to be. He just did the thing. I was going to pause. And I was going to say, he's going to say that RFK would never touch pharmaceuticals. Of course he would never touch our drugs. But he didn't say that. He actually said, yeah, maybe he will take the drugs away, and maybe that'll make us even healthier. As the retard across the seat from him, or across the table, is literally huffing on a cigar at the same time. Kill me.
Lived through COVID. What? It's not obvious to me that they wouldn't get healthier if they didn't have access to prescription drugs. Do you realize how corrupt those companies are and how nonsensical?
Wait, what was that even about that Destiny just said right there? What does him puffing on a cigar have to do with anything? I would make the argument, and you got to watch what you say, but I would make the argument that a lot of prescription medications are a lot more harmful than cigars are. And I don't even think that's controversial to say at all. There's a lot of people who get put on, I don't know, antidepressant medication that it does horrible things to people, man. Like, it does horrible things to people. There's so many other medications out there that do really bad things to people that we can't even say. You know, a lot of things that get injected into you that you might not have had a choice. You might have gotten fired if you didn't get it injected into you, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you couldn't go to school. You couldn't go to college without getting it injected into you. Whatever. That did pretty bad things to some people, you know? I think that's a whole lot worse than a cigar, which is voluntarily smoked, right? And everybody knows what can happen if you smoke a cigar, but nobody's told a lot of the side effects that will come with a lot of the prescription medications that they get. They just act as if it's all fine and dandy, and that, oh, you take this, your depression goes away. And nobody tells them about the side effects that are most definitely going to come, you know, from taking those medications. And same thing with the other thing that I was talking about. Nobody even mentioned a singular side effect when it came to that, and there was a ton of them. And honestly, not much benefit, right? Like, no real benefits to taking that drug. So that's, I mean, it's just another bad faith argument from Destiny, man. What else is new, right?
Their science is the science that says that you actually get better if you...
Wait. The companies are corrupt? I thought that the free market and competition and the marketplace of ideas, isn't this capitalism for these big pharmaceutical companies? What? Or is it not capitalism for them? Or
what are you talking about?
I just lived through COVID. It's not obvious.
Dude, what is these arguments, I hate pausing this much. I know it makes you guys angry, but these arguments don't even make any sense at all. What is he talking about? How is it free market? It's not free market whatsoever. It's absolute corruption. Free market is not meaning that you can just do whatever the hell you want with no restriction. It's not like a free market means that, oh, I'm gonna make a basketball brand, and because it's a free market, I'm just going to go murder all the other basketball brand owners out there so that my basketball becomes the only one left. That's not how like a free market doesn't mean that you can just go do whatever the hell you want. It's full on corruption. if you're making something that is supposed to help people's health, and the thing that you're making is not just not helping their health, but it's directly hurting their health, it's injuring these people, that should be stated very clearly. And it also should not be protected by the government. We should not be lied to by the government, who is supposed to be the fact checkers of the situation. That's nothing to do with free market or capitalism or anything like that. That's just full on corruption. Free market is just allowing anyone to come out with drugs, right? Which is not even the case right now. Like, I can't even go into all the corruption, but like, because of the current situation with the CDC and FDA and things like that, they won't even approve certain drugs that are not from people that they want to approve them from, that haven't paid them off, basically, you know, and that's how corrupt this thing is. That's how corrupt this thing is. So it's not even really a free market if you really want to go there. But also, free market doesn't mean that you can just lie to people and have your drugs that are supposed to improve their life and improve their health be extremely detrimental to their health, and just be like, just cite the free market, right? Yeah, my drug might have killed a bunch of people, but hey, free market, right? That's not how it works, bro. That's not it's not what a free market is. And he knows that. That's the thing.
To me, that they wouldn't get healthier if they didn't have access to prescription drugs. Do you realize how corrupt those companies are and how nonsensical their science is? The science that says that you actually get better if you take a statin based on some metric in your chart, right? So I'm not arguing.
As opposed to looking at your chakra, or no offense, Dr. K, I love you. Or what are we? No more heart medication, no more insulin, no more Ozempic for these fucking conservatives. All of them should be banned from.
No, that's not what he's saying either. I mean, if you use specific names, maybe he does mean no more Ozempic, but he's not saying no more heart medication. He's just saying that it needs to be closely monitored, and there needs to be less of a monopoly on who makes this heart medication. And they shouldn't be getting, you got to watch what you say about this stuff. I hate it. It drives me crazy, but you do have to watch what you say when they have my point of view on things. But there should be outside people that check these things. I think having someone like RFK come in and just audit everything. He doesn't have to like come in and just shut everything down immediately, but like just come in and check everything out and just make the information public to the American people and let us decide if something is safe, if something is worth it to take ourselves. Like, every individual should have the choice. Do I want to take this drug or do I not? And the more information that we have about each drug, that we have about the healthcare system in general, is going to be better. It's going to be more beneficial for each individual person that's looking to make those decisions. And you can always tell where a good guy is and who the bad guy is by who wants the people to have more or less information. If you're on the side that is arguing for the American people to have less information about what they're injecting into their bodies, which is what Destiny is arguing against, you are on the wrong side. If you're one of those people who are arguing against election integrity and you know, being more clear about what's happening with elections in America, you are on the wrong side. It's as simple as that, man. It's as simple as that.
From taking any of these medicines, and no Viagra and Cialis. Take that away as well.
Arguing that there aren't good pharmaceuticals. There undoubtedly are. But what's the net effect of our pharmaceutical obsessed medical culture? It's not.
Oh, there's also this awkward thing where you have to look to your god Jordan Peterson. You have to regurgitate every single talking point that he has. Remember, it's like the human centipede, okay? But there's like 100 of them, and they switch heads every now and then. And Jordan Peterson is that one. He's the first big conservative that I recall hearing on this stupid fucking show. That talking point of like, well, you know, maybe drugs or maybe all of medicine has done more harm than good since its inception, because medical malpractice has killed 14 billion children a year. And now everybody has to repeat that point.
But what's the net effect of our pharmaceutical obsessed medical culture? It's not obvious to me that it's positive. I think it may well be negative. And so anyway, again, I see Bernie Sanders and I see him reading from a script that is no longer relevant to the movie we're watching.
Right, and this is not saying that there aren't some.
True, Jeremiah Smith. Nobody's making you take any of these medicines. If you don't want to, you can just not do it. You don't have to take. No one's forcing you to take any of this medication. They don't worry. They got rid of the vaccine mandates. I guess if you want to go to public school, there's some, but like, you don't have to take any of the pharmaceutical drugs. You don't. Just don't. You don't have to. You don't even have to go to a doctor. Just don't.
Pharmaceutical drugs that are amazing. The problem is they're
not about them forcing people to take it, which they did do. Like, I don't know why. Like, let's not even pretend like that didn't happen. But it's not about them forcing people to take it or not. It's about the complete lack of transparency about how detrimental these drugs can be to someone's health. That's really what it is about. And so people aren't being forced to take it, right? It's not being shoved down people's throats, but they are being coerced or manipulated into thinking that they're going to do certain things without having certain side effects that they end up having, which can be borderline worse than just being forced to take it because you're taking it under the guise of, oh, this is going to be completely fine, and then it completely backfires on you. Anyway, let me know in the comments you guys think about Destiny having this unhinged meltdown about what Joe Rogan and Brett Weinstein are saying right here. I think it's very obvious who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Like I said, it's pretty easy to see who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Who wants the people to have less information? They're normally the wrong the people on the wrong side, right? Pretty simple. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who do you think wins in this scenario? Do you think Joe Rogan and Brett Weinstein are correct, or do you think Destiny is correct about what he was saying about Joe Rogan? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Joe Rogan versus Destiny situation.